Welcome back, guys, to another video. This is my part 2 for my movie watch list journey 2021, and we're going to be focusing on East Asian titles this time because now my movie watch list algorithm has completely been thrown out the window. I'm now free to watch whatever I want to watch, whenever I want to watch. And I had a bit of an East Asian movie binge the last couple of weeks, so I'm going to share with you my thoughts on those films. And they're all physical media copies, so I can also show off my beautiful collector's editions of these movies. And I get these recommendations from various sources, mainly from, of course, Hus at A Touch of Film, who's expert on East Asian cinema of all types. And also a guy called Tyler, who does a channel called The Movie Beat, who specialises in more Korean films. So I'll put the links down below on this video. But yeah, this is going to be my East Asian movie watch list update. Okay, so the first film up for discussion this evening is Edward Yang's Taipei Story from 1985. There we are. This is the Korean edition, so it's going to be gorgeous with beautiful glossy full slip. And inside we have the usual goodies. We have a very lovely booklet, which is actually in English. It's very nice. And we have some postcards with there we are, with the very beautiful lead actress Chin Sai, who we'll talk about in a second. And yeah, just, you know, really lovely packaging and from Nova Media. So all good. Yeah, I've been having a bit of an Edward Yang film odyssey. I started with Yi Yi last year, and I watched Terrorizers a few weeks ago on Mubi, and of course I have watched A Brighter Summer Day, which I'm probably going to review in my next video. Yeah, I mean, I do like this guy. It's quite like laid back and slow cinema. Reminds me a little bit of the Japanese director Koreeda. He focuses a lot on buildings, neon landscapes, architecture. Windows feature heavily in his films, and the framing's wonderful. They're just a real experience, because I think directors like this, you don't have to, if you go in kind of not expecting too much, you're not going to see an awful lot of action, drama, suspense particularly. But the experience is great. The director allows you to engage yourself with the characters, with the landscapes. It kind of washes over you a little bit, and it's more of a kind of an experience when you watch this type of movies, and very, very rewatchable as well. I think what's interesting about this particular film, though, Taipei Story, is the lead actress Chin Sai. She's a Chinese pop singer. I don't think she's made many films. This is the main film she's made. Absolutely amazing. Reminding me a little bit of Maggie Cheung in The Mood for Love. She just looks incredible, super cool, beautiful, and you know, it's one of those films that every frame could be a picture, and it's just like a gorgeous looking film. Very very bleak story about the disintegration of relationships. But at the same time, also very, almost exhilarating is maybe the word I would use. But I can't explain why, other than it's just a really lovely movie watching experience. So I'd recommend, if you haven't ever gotten into Edward Yang, you check out. You probably start with A Brighter Summer Day, his masterpiece. And Yi Yi's and also a really famous film from him. And I'm going more into the more kind of lesser known Edward Yangs at the moment, and picking up all the physical releases. So it's all good. It's all good for me. So keeping the theme with kind of laid back Asian cinema, we're now going to discuss a film from 2014, a Midsummers Fantasia, directed by Yang Kun-jae. It's the first film I've seen of his. I will be honest, the reason I bought this movie, because Plain Archive did a incredible release of this film last year, which I have here. I actually double dipped on this one. I bought the main edition. I mean, look at the beautiful artwork on that. Absolutely stunning. And the window in the back where the amaret goes through looks gorgeous. You get a booklet as well, of course. And then the second edition is a little bit more kind of straightforward with this kind of grey box, but you've got lots of booklets. I'm not going to show you all of this. You can go into my Instagram account if you want to see more, because it's all over there. A couple of beautiful art cards as well were included. So, you know, I kind of bought it and I thought I probably will like this movie, looking at the artwork and the synopsis. And yeah, I did. I loved it. This is a charming film. It's I'm gonna tell you off the bat, I hope it's not going to spoil it. Half the film was in beautiful monochrome black and white, and half the film is in colour, which makes it kind of quite fascinating. Again, it's one of those similar films to Edward Yang where it kind of washes over you. I was reminded actually of Hong Sang-Soo, his style, where a lot of the film is conversations between people, relationships, celebration of the mundane, of simple life. There's a couple of moments in the film which I found really touching. If I'm just between you and me, I did shed a tear when there was a scene where a young man held a very elderly lady's hand, and that was quite heartwarming and beautiful, and also a fantastic moment in the film towards the end as well, which really got me going. So it's one of those films that it's about people, it's all about places. The film is set in a little village in Japan. The film is actually a Japanese-Korean co-production. So you've got Korean actresses and coming over to Japan. Lots of beautiful tracking shots and long takes. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those films that you know you're going to revisit. You know it's going to be something that you're going to probably study. The technical aspects of the film, and yeah, it was just a really nice place to spend some time in the company of this movie. So if you haven't checked it out, I wouldn't recommend you buy the plain archive edition, but if you can find it elsewhere, then go for it. It's definitely worth a watch. Okay, let's keep going. The same theme. We're now going to talk about Hong Sang-Soo. His movie Grass from 2018. Again, Korean edition with a really nice slip. I have got a bit of a love-hate relationship with Hong Sang-Soo. I watched a couple of his films last year. Taylor's Cinema, Nobody's Daughter, which I thought were okay. They didn't blow me away, but I thought they're interesting films. I then watched On the Beach at Night Alone, which I absolutely hated, really didn't like it at all. Then I watched his latest film, The Women Who Ran, watched that a few weeks ago, really. So I kind of decided Hong Sang-Soo is not for me, not for everyone. I know that Dion Wynn on his channel has done a say you want to get into Hong Sang-Soo kind of video, and he's trying to help to try and get people to get into his director, and I'm sure that there's a lot of love out there for this guy, but I was in a place where I just thought, I'm never gonna get into this director. But I'd already bought a lot of his Blu-rays. I already bought Grass, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna watch it, and then I'm gonna probably sell it on if I don't like it. But interestingly enough, I did really like this film. Beautiful black and white photography, some fantastic emotionally charged arguments, which are in lots of Hong Sang-Soo's films. Those are the parts I do like, when there's a bit of drama. Normal musings on the mundane aspects of life. There's music in the movie, which is unusual for Hong Sang-Soo. I thought it was actually a soundtrack, but it was classical music playing in the background. The film is set in a cafe. The whole film's set in a cafe. Different discussions and different relationships on display in this cafe. It's kind of one of those films that you just enjoy listening to people talking and arguing, and it's all very charming and interesting and looks beautiful. So it's not a lot not to like, to be honest. So again, I think it's going to be interesting. I'm going to watch Right Now, Wrong Then, which is supposed to be his most popular film, his masterpiece. So you never know. If I like that, then I'm going to start to warm towards this guy. So I think it's Grass is certainly a film that I'm not going to sell now. So sorry if you were going to look on my eBay account for it. It's not going to be there, because I'm sure I'll watch it again one day. But yes, it's you know, you never know. The tide may have changed. Okay, so a completely change of pace now. We're now into sort of action thriller type films. A film from year 2000, Joint Security Area, directed by Park Chan-wook, who everyone's I'm sure has heard of. Old Boy, Thirst, etc. This was his first film, I believe, and I don't know why I haven't watched it before. I guess it's quite hard to get hold of, and it was like 30-40 quid to buy, just to watch it, and I was kind of waiting for a release, and then of course Arrow have just released it, but I bought the Young Films box set. Somehow I managed to get hold of that. I'll show that. Go to my Instagram account, you see photographs of that if you want to, but this is the version that I've got in the Young Films box set. It's a really lovely slip, and it's got the standard JSA image that everyone's probably familiar with, and yeah, it's got all sorts of nice goodies inside. Art cards, booklet, probably in Korean, but yeah. So I finally watched it. It's a Park's first feature. You can kind of tell that a little bit, but his style is still pretty evident here. You know, it is a straightforward action flick. You know, kind of set on the borders of North and South Korea, the Joint Security Area. But you're seeing lots of gorgeous transition shots using umbrellas, and you're seeing a lot of technical wizardry in the movie, you know, and he does, as always, meld and weave a relationship tale into his films, study of the human condition, all of that stuff. Again, I never talk about plot or anything on this channel, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people would have already have seen this, so it's just, you know, it's something that I've with fresh eyes. The final shot is to die for. It's absolutely incredible. It's also got a great cast. I mean, it's great to see the wonderful Song Kang-ho. He's a regular in Park Chan-wook's films. He's been Old Boy. He was in Thirst, for example, and obviously great to see him 21 years ago. And also Lee Byung-hun, who is a personal favourite Korean actor of mine because he's in two of my favourite Korean films, I Saw the Devil and A Bittersweet Life. So to see these two guys 21 years ago was really, really special. So yeah, go and, if you haven't already bought the Arrow release, I would suggest you do that urgently. Whether you've seen the film or not, I'm sure it's got some great special features, so I'm sure I'll pick it up at some point. But if you haven't seen JSA, Joint Security Area, then go and check it out. Yep, so that's my East Asian update. And next week, we'll probably be back to normal, a mixture of indie, art house and East Asian. So I look forward to seeing you all again then. And I won't leave it a month this time because I'm back in the saddle now and enjoying doing this. And thanks for watching, guys. And like I say, just keep it real. Come on.